Hey bird lovers, here's a little suet feeder I made. Feed my birds here in the backyard. Made it for under $10. I'll show you how I did it. Let's go inside. Okay, so here we are back here. I want to show you what I've got so far and the pieces I cut. First off, this piece of pressure treated wood for outdoors. It's I got it at Home Depot. It's a picket, fence picket, and it's more like this because I already trimmed it, but that's the top, right? So you can see it has the little angles here already, which are going to come into play later when we put the roof on. So I cut the top off for the centerpiece. Now, $1.98, pressure treated, so it's pretty good for outdoors for a while anyhow. So what I did was, I have all these pieces that I pre-cut. So what I have is I made a little diagram and I put all the sizes and of the little pieces, and I'll put that down in the comments so you can see that. Nothing fancy, but it works. So what I did was when I cut the pieces, here again is the centerpiece, here's the bottom. So it's going to go like this. You're going to see it like that, right? Now I also noticed when I made the first one, I was worried about this strength here. So what I did was I made a couple of these little support triangles. So they're going to go like that now. So you can see that. So that's going to strengthen that now. So that's going to be, I got two, one for this side and one for the other side. So that's those pieces there. I also cut two pieces, and this is for the roof. So you'll notice, may not notice, but you'll notice one of these is just thickness of the wood shorter. Reason for that is when I make the roof and I make that angle, you'll see that angle, it's the same size. So a little trick I learned. So that's going to be for the roof. Also, I made some little supports for the roof to go up here like this, if you can see that. So I have two, one for this side, one for that side. Then the other pieces I have are the perches. So here's the bottom. I got these little, just scrap wood, and again, the size, I just extended it over a little bit. So these are going to be the perch where the actual bird, land and with their feet. So I made it a little bit longer than the other one, but I guess it can be whatever. So I got two of those, one for this side, one for this side. So that's pretty much all my pieces. That's really all I need. So it's not a lot to do. However, the other part I want to show you. Hang on, I got to get it. Okay, what else I got now? And this is the items that I had, the little suet baskets, right? I got two of them here. And of course I got the suet. Now I got this at a place called Ollie's, but you can get this at Home Depot, you can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Lowe's. And it's just a suet basket that's going to go in there. So these are the other parts that you need. $2, $1.50. Again, you can see with all this, what we bought, we're under $10 for the whole mess. So that's pretty good. I'm going to put that there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, oh wait, one other thing I want to show you. You're going to need wood glue, of course. I use this professional wood glue at Home Depot, Lowe's. It's pretty good, really good stuff. Then I use brad nailer. Now I happen to have one of these. You could use little nails. It's going to be a little bit more harder to do, or a staple, or a really heavy duty staple. And I use 1.5-inch brad nailers. So again, that's up to you, but this is definitely, if you can get a hold of one of these, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is work on the roof. So I'm going to do the glue and the brad nailing. So I'm going to get you a close-up of this. So I found it easier to do the roof first. So remember, I've got these two pieces. This one is a little shorter than this one, just by the thickness of the wood. And the reason for that is when you put it together like this, it'll be like that. They'll be at the same height from each other. So, and I got that in a little diagram. This one's only just a little bit shorter than this, just by its thickness. Okay, so I'm going to get some glue first and sock down the glue. A little cold in the garage here today, but here we go. And I'm going to glue along the board here, spread it around. There we go. Then this is going to go at just the right angle for this. There you go. Now I'm going to get my brad nailer, and I find it a little bit easier to do it this way. I'm going to hold this up like this. Make sure that is straight. Get my little brad nailer here. Try to make sure you're in the center because it's not very thick. And nail it in. There you go. So there's a little roof. Didn't take much. Also, what I do is just reinforce like this one has a little gap because the wood isn't exactly straight. So I'm going to add a little glue in the gap just to make sure it's strong enough. Also, you may want to do it on the inside here. So I'm going to put a little glue on the inside. Down in the crack. Okay, and I have a little stick here somewhere. Okay, so I have a little popsicle stick here. I'm going to just bring it in. Make sure that glue gets spread apart in the crack where it belongs. Same thing up here. Spread it around. These, by the way, really handy. I got these at the dollar store, like, 1,000 of them or something for $1. I don't know what it was. So there you go. Now I have this, and it's actually pretty sturdy already because the brad nailers are what's holding it in. Now remember what I said, I had these other little pieces that I made, and I'll get those out over here, with the idea of reinforcing the little roof, right? So here's the first one. I'm going to put it in here. And you could see, well, maybe you can't, but it's the perfect angle actually. So once you cut that, it'll be fine. Okay, more glue. It comes out. Come on out. Okay. So here's more glue. There. I got my little spreader here. Keep it spread so it's not clumpy. And then I'm going to put it up in here. Flush. And that looks pretty good. Also now, I'll show you here. You can see it there. So it looks pretty good, right? So I'm gonna nail that also just to make it strong. So I'm gonna put that in there, make sure it's nice and even. Get my brad nailer, give it a go, give it a shot. And then this one really is just to hold it in until the glue dries, because the glue is going to be the strength. But I love the brad nailer. So there you go, and take a look at it here. That looks pretty good. Okay, so there you go. There's a little roof, both sides, and that's done. So we're gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna work on the other pieces. Okay, while my roof is drying, now I'm gonna get the main pieces here, the bottom and the middle part that holds the suet cages, and which is going to go like that, right? So first thing I want to do is make sure I'm in the center. So I usually I'll measure this board here, which I made 8 inches. So I'm going to go and find my center post, which is here. And then I'll know where to shoot the brad nailer, because that's important. You want to make sure, because you see, when you shoot into it, that's all you have there. That's the only, that thickness is what you have to hit that nail in there. So it's really important that you measure that properly. So I'm going to go, okay, that's the center. Now, here's what I want to do also. I want to do the center on this side, of course, too. This is where the brad nailer is going to be. So I made my little marks, boom, boom, there. There you go. So now I have a center line on this side and a center line on this side. So now it's time to glue. I'm going to get my glue back out. Glue my center line. I like to put a little bit on here and on here. Okay, that should be enough. Get my little spreader here. Spread that glue out nice and even. Okay, and then I'm going to spread it out here. Okay, and then we are going to mount the centerpiece right on that line. That's another reason we make the line. I could see the little marks on the side here. Make sure that's in the center. Okay, now this is a little tricky. I'm going to put it on the side like this so I can do the brad nail. Again, making sure my center line is here. So let's do one. I'm going to do one up like on this side first. Then I'm going to turn it over. Then I'm going to check my line again. Okay, that looks pretty good. Get another one here. Okay, so I look, and okay, I did a pretty good job because the brad nail didn't come up through in here anywhere or here, so it actually went into the wood. So that was good. That's going to make it nice, a lot stronger. But remember, when I first did it, this is kind of a little weak this way, right? I mean, this thing moves. It's not real strong. It's the only thing holding it. That's where I came up with this brilliant idea to make these little support triangles and to put them there like that. So, simple, glue, and get my glue down here, then up here, and it's only going to go to about that height. Glue spreader, make it even. Okay. Now, if you got a little left over, you can put some in there. So actually it looks like I can go a little more here this way with the glue, a little more that way. So then I'm going to put my little centerpiece on here, making sure it's flush up against here and that the point is in the center, right here. This point is right in the center, right? That's going to make it nice and strong. And that looks pretty good. I think I got it right. It's glued. Now I'm going to give it a shot with my brad nailer just to keep it strong. Don't need a lot here because again, the glue is going to be the strength. But for now, you need that glue, you need to hold this so the glue dries. So there you go, look at that. That looks okay, right? Okay, so that's that one. All you do is flip it over now. So there's our center, right? Now, while the glue's drying, I just wanted to show you a little roof here. So you can see we've come a long way, right? Now, remember what I said about these rabbit ears here on an angle? That's the angle that the roof's going to sit. It just happens to be the right angle for everything, which is 40. These are 45, and they just fit. If you can see that now, just fits on there. Okay, so actually, before we put the cages on, which will go here and here, we're going to put the perches on. Again, it's kind of a random size that I selected, but it'll just somewhere where the bird can land. So I've just picked this random wood that I had, and it's going to be like that. So, back with the glue, if I can get it to come out. And I'm going to give it a nice bead of glue down here again for the perch. Okay, little spreader, spread it out. Good. Now I'm going to put the perch, and I made it a little, this side's a little bit bigger on both sides than this, so that they have another place to grab onto. But again, that's your discretion. You're building it, whatever you want. So I'm going to put the perch on there. And then, of course, I'm going to do my brad nailer, hold it in place, do my brad nailer. Shoot one there, shoot one here, and here. Again, counting on the glue to be the strength when it dries, so that looks okay. There's my little perch. Okay. So there we go. We got our perches in. Looks okay. Now we're going to work on putting the cages in here. Now, a couple things I want to show you about the cage. Again, depending on where you buy them, I got this at a store called Ollie's, but again, you can get them anywhere. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. Now, this one came with a chain, but I don't know if you can see that chain, but I don't know. I wouldn't use it like that at all. So what I'm going to do is take the chain off of the cage. I got a little needle nose here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this chain, both chains, to put on the roof for hanging. So this works really well for that. That's kind of a big plus, I think, having those chains and then being able to, reuse them. Okay, this also has an opening on this particular one. It's a little tight. I'm going to open that. And I'm actually going to take that off because I'm not going to need it, because we're going to put it in here. And the whole idea is that once it's open like that, now you can get the suet and you can drop it in. So when you want to do it. Now, the reason I made this a little bit higher with the roof is for that purpose. Now you can come in, you can reach in, you know, and then when you get a new one, you could just load it right away. You don't have to take anything apart or anything. So that's kind of why I made it this high, so that you have enough room here, you know, to get a new one in, to just kind of screw it in. So that's what that's for. Okay, so I'm gonna mount this. What I found was the best way is I found like some number 10 screws that are and a washer. So I made a little washer. I will show you a close-up of that, but that's what it looks like now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this to the wood with this screw here. So let me get my screwdriver. Okay, so I got my screwdriver. So what I'm going to do is just going to kind of set it like this for now, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to, now the screw is three-quarters inch thick between the cage and the washer. It shouldn't come through that material, but it may a little bit, but it's not really going to matter. So this is a tough part. I'm going to put this in here like this first. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I'm picking a spot in there where the screw and the washer will cover right here. So that's all you really need. I mean, this thing's strong, so it's not going to go anywhere. And it's on the inside, so it's not going to bother the birds or anything. So let's get the other one. And you can see, actually, it was perfect because it didn't come through. All right, so let's get the second one ready. I'm going to take the little chain off, which we're going to use later for the put the roof on. I'm also going to take off the little door that it has here, which we don't really need. Door's going to come off. It's pretty strong. These cages are in there nice and strong. So far it's shaping up. Now the next thing is we're going to put the roof on to finish the work. So again, I told you, like, these are the right angles. These little rabbit ears, or whatever they call them. And that's going to go placed there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to measure again the center of this. So I'm going to move this out of the way temporarily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the wood here. So because it's 5.5, we're going to go 2 3/4 is the center. 2 3/4 is the center. There we go. 2 3/4. So I'm going to make the mark on the inside on this one too. 2 3/4, 2 3/4. So let's make our little line. There's 2 3/4. Then I'm going to mark out here with just a little dot or something like that. So I'm going to go 2 3/4 there, 2 3/4 there, and then I'm just going to make like a light pencil line again because we want to make sure we hit. We want to make sure we hit that wood when we do our little brad nailing. So do that little line. Okay, so that should take care of that. Now let's come back with our device here. We're going to get ready to put that in. I don't need my screwdriver, so I'll put it down there before I knock it over. I'll move this out of the way. It's helpful too if you have like a workbench that's bigger than this. Anyway, like I said, I work in my garage. I'm doing the best I can. So here we go. We're getting ready to put the roof on. Okay, so I'm going to get my glue out again, and we're going to glue our little rabbit ears, because this is really the only place it's going to sit. It's on this little angle. So again, brad nailers and glue is what's going to hold it together. That's going to make the difference. Like that, we'll spread it out a little bit. And now I'm going to turn this because, like I said before, I got to make sure this line is lined with the center here. So, but the other thing is you got to make sure too is that your angle, I'll see if I can tilt this, the angle that this sits on is equal to these angles here. This little ears there. So I'm going to look at this here. I'm going to put it down so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, actually this might be easier. You know what? I think this is going to be easier. That's on the line. That's on the line. Let's see, there you go, there and there. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now, let's shoot it. I'm only going to put one to make sure my angles are right, and that looks pretty good. Okay, that angle looks right there. And okay, let's check it. Okay, that looks good. It's sitting there properly. So let's give it another shot now with the angle with my gun here. It looks like right about up here is good, and right a little bit above the other one, shooting down, looks good too. So let's check our angle again. Okay, it looks good here and here. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to look on this side, and you can see it looks good there too. So guess what? Only one more thing to do. What do you think? We did it. We did it. I really, you know, it's really not a lot, but it's just if you do it methodically, you know, by cutting the pieces, doing this first, doing that first, and you may find an easier way. And God bless you if you can. That's fine. I'm not trying to like sell this thing. I just thought that a lot of my friends that love birds, you know, spend a lot of money on your stuff, birds and seed and suet, and you know, why not make something like this for under $10 that'll serve the purpose? So that's why I made it. So here's the other thing I was thinking, that I was telling you about, and I'm going to widen up the shot a little bit. So here's the other thing, the only last thing we have to do, and again, if you don't have these little chains that came with the thing, you can use, you know, you can use rope, you can use wire, but I do recommend that you don't like hang it from the center, because it's going to spin around and do different things. So this gives it a little bit more stability, I've found anyhow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount these two guys on the roof, and that's going to be the hanger. So I'm going to go get a couple more screws. That's how I put it on there. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're doing really good. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to put our little chains on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of measure down in the center again. Remember I made that little center line there? So that's still handy. I'm going to go down, it looks like I'm going to go down about 3 inches. 3 inches on that side. And 3 inches here. That's going to give me the stability that I need. Let's make sure I got that right. Yep, 3 inches. So that's where I'm going to put my chains. Let me get my little screw gun here. So I just got some screws with a little washer on it to keep it, to hold on this chain. I'm going to put it through here. Again, these screws are about 3/4. That's really all you need. So let's put the first one in. Okay, that's one. Then my other screw. And turn this around here so you can see what I'm doing. This one I'm going to go down about 3 inches also. Screw this in. Put this chain up here so it's facing upward. Good. So now I got my little chain, and I'll show you the wider shot. Okay, so now we got our little chains on here. Check it out, check it out. Look at that, huh? Oh yeah, look, it's balanced and everything, right? That's why I like having the chain on, on either side rather than in the center. So guess what? You just built a $10 suet feeder. Now all you got to do is buy the suet. But remember, again, like I said, you could just put it there and set it in, load it, at your convenience. So that's going to make it a lot easier. So for all my bird friends and all my bird lovers, they're gifts from God. They come and enlighten our lives and our world. So I just love birds so much. But anyway, so this is going to feed a bunch more. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you can make one. Keep on birding. Thank you.